Man, there's a lot of noise going on over there, but I got a new smoker, a Fornetto, got it for a song. I'm gonna do a little modification on it. I'm gonna put this FireBoard fan. I've been running my FireBoard over here with an old 2006 Rock Stoker, which I modded to remove the IP address chip out of the wire, and it runs on FireBoard. So I've never really had a FireBoard fan. So I'm going to hook this up, and I've got a drill hole in there. I'm going to use about a 1-inch drill to put this bracket on that will allow that to attach. So I'm picking a spot that's out of the way to the left, not in the front, so I don't kick it accidentally and I don't spill something on it. And won't interfere with the fire basket. We'll be drilling this partially from the outside and partially from the inside till we break through. All right, so now as you begin to tighten it down, this, if you take a look here, you'll notice that this gasket begins to curve to the shape of the bowl. This is an 18, it'll work the same way as with the 22. So if it works on this, basically, with this type of a curve, it's definitely going to work on a Weber or a 22-inch model of one of these. Now make sure you do this first. Make sure the grate doesn't interfere with that little plate. And the best position for this is downward, not sideways, downward. You want it blowing down into the bowl. So now I know you're probably thinking, hey, what do? I got this big hole. What if I don't want to use the fan? You can just use this plug that you took out to cover it in the interim. So the way this works, and I'm going to have to just show you the effect afterward because I can't do it and hold the camera, is you pull this out, you loosen that on the thing, and then these squeeze in, and you'll find a little area for them to go, and then you tighten the blower after that. Okay, I got it on there, so now we push this, I've got to loosen it, push it tight. Oh, I got to have two hands for this too. Oh no, there we go. Got to have two hands for this too, yeah. Okay, so I got them both tight, that's what it looks like, okay? So it blows air through the little hole, and you need to keep this down, like I said, because basically the air needs to roll up like this, okay, gently. You don't want it blowing on the actual fire. That'll cause a core out. But you're going to keep these closed, except for maybe when you light it. Man, that didn't take me long to do. So here's what we'll do is we will put the grate in, and let's go ahead and set this up for a fire. All right, so I got my wood in there first. I've got my vents open. I'm not cooking anything on this. I'm just doing an experiment. We have a fire, oh, forgot. We're gonna put a fire starter here. Just one will do. Light it. That's it. And let that get started. Okay, I'm gonna flatten it out a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and close these valves where I got no air feeding into there, and there's 3. All right. Now my water pan, this should be open all the way. Okay, and now since everything else is sealed up and ready to go, I'm going to turn on the program. Okay, we started this up, got it choked back a little bit. That little silver thing right there scoots back and forth to restrict the airflow because I haven't gotten to the fan setting on my FireBoard. It's going to basically run an hour at 225, then kick up to 245, then 260, and then down to 180. So we're going to see how that smoke does. It's real smoky at this beginning part. This is the part, for instance, you wouldn't want to put any meat in. Now, they say it could take up to an hour and 10 minutes naturally to get to a balance where it's good smoke. But I'm thinking with it supplying exactly the heat that it needs, and we started off at a temperature that was under what I wanted, it's going to feed this exactly what it is supposed to have. That's been my experience when it's hooked up to those smokers, or this one, or my big smoker. This is my medium-sized smoker. So this is a much smaller smoker than my gravity feed. So I had to change the maximum fan speed
instead of 100 to 40%. But I noticed something automatically is that I was immediately running maximum on time in the 40% range.
I've reduced the fan speed maximum to 40%, and it is struggling to get it from 200 to 225. So what I did was, if you remember the last video, last portion, I showed you that I had reset this aperture all the way over here to reduce the airflow. Now I've opened it up wide, and we're going to see how that 40% fan speed reduction, that means that the fan is only going to run at 40% of its maximum, but I have it wide open and wide open aperture. So we'll see how that works, and we'll know it based on the graph. If it's struggling to keep 225, obviously it's going to have a problem with 255. And also too, I have a holding program where it goes down to 180, so we got to make sure the aperture is not open wide too much, because then you'll get air past the vanes and you can't go down to 180. So the first time you use it with this, you got to make some adjustments, especially to the fan speed.
So right here in this graph, you now notice what was a maximum on time at 40% is now on off a little bit. And then if we look at another graph, we'll see that it pretty much balances out not having to turn the fan on that much when it's restricted as it is.
Let me tell you a few things. First of all, I'm amazed. It's been 25 to 30 minutes. I may have been sooner. And you cannot tell that this thing is smoking. So it by starting off lower than what my target temperature was and dialing this in, and I know now my program is going to be preset for running this smoker. I don't have to do all those adjustments, but the fan, only thing I may have to do is adjust the dome temperature is 147. It's telling me that under the dome it's 200. Right here is the grate level, and the grate level is registering 224. If we pull out the water pan or remove it entirely, or just take out the water, those are going to change those characteristics. But this is supposed to burn for 3 hours before it goes to 245. And then it burns for an hour, I think, and then I may burn it, I think it burns another 3 hours at 260. And then it goes down to 180. So I think we're gonna get a long burn out of this. But anyway, it only took me just really 20 minutes. It took me longer to load this thing and set it up and get it up and running than it did to actually install the little doodad there. And I'm going to tell you something right now. They don't have printed instructions for these things, so pretty valuable instructional to have. The motor cost, I want to say $69, almost $70. Yeah, $69, and the plate costs $30. But everything's automatic, and I can monitor this from inside the house. Actually, I can monitor it from across the state.